Amy, let me tell you about a magical place that is so exactly designed to be enclosed space, year-round fun for the whole family that I bet you already know what I'm going to say before I even say the name. Let's say it together on 3. 1, 2, 3. Great Wolf Lodge. You got it, Amy.
My kids loved Great Wolf Lodge when we went. You probably already know that it has a huge indoor water park with a wave pool, lazy river, a bunch of massive water slides. But then your pack can hit the other attractions because wait, there's more.
Great Wolf Lodge has adventure-packed attractions like Magi Quest, a live-action game kids can play throughout the lodge, plus the Northern Lights Arcade. Spent some quality time there, so your kid who loves the lazy river and your kid who loves fantasy games will both have a great time.
Great Wolf Lodge also offers great dining options and complimentary daily events like nightly dance parties, all under one roof. Unpack the car once and you're settled in to have fun. And with 22 lodges across the country, you're always a short drive away from adventure.
We've both had such great times at Great Wolf Lodge, so bring your pack together at a lodge near you. Learn more at greatwolf.com and strengthen the pack. Hello and welcome to Fresh Take from What Fresh Hell, laughing in the face of motherhood. This is Margaret.
And this is Amy. And today we're talking to Cara Harvey. She's a mom empowerment coach who provides women with the tools, resources, and community to empower themselves, find their happiness, and to live a life by design. She's the host of the podcast Purpose Driven Mom Show. She's a mom of 3 and the author of the new book, The 15-Minute Formula, How Busy Moms Can Ditch the Guilt, Say Yes to What Matters, and Conquer Their Goals. Welcome, Cara.
Thank you so much for having me.
So you say in the book, it starts sort of like with the hard part, with the struggle where you gain your superpowers, so to speak. Can you tell us a little bit about the sort of hardest part of your life as a mom to date?
Yeah, when you become a mom, you're like, this is going to be great. You have all the ideas of how you're going to handle things and what it's going to be like. And you don't imagine yourself sitting on the floor of your kitchen, crying your eyes out, wondering what happened. And that's exactly what happened to me. So I have 3 kids. My stepson's my oldest. He's 15, and my kids are now 6 and 4. So when my 6-year-old was born, I was really struggling with this feeling of inadequacy, but I don't know, like times 100. I felt sad all the time, and I just felt like I was failing. And I went to my doctor, and he kind of was like, yeah, this just feels like that baby blues. Moms deal with this. You'll be fine. And because I came from this hustle culture mentality, I thought, okay, I'll be fine. And I pushed through and I kind of shoved all of that down inside and I kept going. And when my son was born 2.5 years later, I thought, nope, I'm not doing this again, right? I thought this is going to be different. I'm going to do something else. And I advocated for myself. I started seeing a therapist and I realized that I had postpartum anxiety, depression, and rage. And it was manifesting in a lot of tears, a lot of screaming, a lot of feeling embarrassed about how I felt as a mom. And I knew enough was enough. So a few years in therapy, and I've been in therapy since I was 16. So this wasn't my first rodeo. I knew that I needed to work on myself. I continued to release the pressure of feeling like I needed to do all of it at the same time and be this, quote, perfect mom so that I can find what balance and alignment looked like for me. And I'm still working on it. I'm still working on those moments when I feel like I want to just scream at everyone and I feel like the worst mom ever. But the moments of me sitting on the floor crying, they are pretty much gone most days. And I feel more in control because I'm not trying to do everything all the time.
And we talk a lot about this, and I think it's something that a lot of our listeners think about and struggle with. And I wonder if you have any insight. Like, have you identified for yourself, what is the difference? I mean, we hear a lot like, oh, everybody feels this way after they have babies. I had my first 13 years ago, and I only realized like 7 years ago that I had postpartum anxiety after I never, dealt with it with a doctor, which probably would have been really helpful. How do you know where those lines are? When should somebody say like, this, enough is enough. This doesn't feel right to me, and I need more help with this than I'm getting?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's when like enough is enough. Like I can't do it anymore. And for me, as somebody who is very driven, I, really like productivity. I do find like, it's a personality trait for me type of a thing.
You and Amy would get along.
Yes,
she has the same character trait.
Yeah. It's just, I do. And listen, I know who I am, right? Like I know that about myself. And I think the thing is, we know who we are. And I think that when you start to see the changes and they become more than just, my life is a little bit different now that I'm mom, then it's time to get some help. And I also will say, I think therapy is one of the best proactive tools out there. I will sometimes just get on with my therapist to hang out because I know that if I don't, I'm going to start to struggle because I don't have that tool in my toolbox. And I think if there's moms out there who are feeling lost, you're like, everything feels different and I feel unhappy. If you start to have these feelings of my family would be better off without me, or I had a lot of shame, like, where did I go wrong? Like, what did I do wrong that I'm feeling so miserable and so angry all the time? And everyone was kind of walking on eggshells around me and I could feel it. And I remember it was my daughter's first birthday party and I was icing cupcakes. And you know when you ice cupcakes and they're like too hot, so everything melts, but you don't feel like waiting?
I do know.
Yes. And so I'm a rusher. It's kind of just who I am. And normally I'd be like, whatever, I wouldn't care. But I remember my mom standing next to me and I just was sobbing. I can never do anything right. I can't even make cupcakes. Who am I to be a mom? And she was like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, something is wrong with me. And I think we intuitively know, but society tells us like, well, we're moms. We're superheroes. We're supposed to just go and do and not stop and recognize when something is wrong. I think a lot of us know, but we have to like dig that intuition piece out for us.
Can we talk about the hustle culture thing? Because you said that, the hustle culture was telling you like, you got this, mom, keep going. And you are, you're a purpose-driven mom. This is your hustle culture is your jam. It's kind of my jam too, as Margaret was saying before. But what do you think, where does hustle culture get it wrong for a mom like you in that moment? And what were the wrong messages you were receiving from it?
Yeah, that's a great question because I think we as moms love to wear busy like it's our badge of honor, right? Like somebody's like, what's going on? Oh, I'm just so busy. I've got so much going on. And we say it with pride because society has told us if you have more of the lines in your planner filled in, like you're better than another mom because you're more productive. That's the message we get. And I try to remind moms like this little secret, just because you put more things in your planner does not mean you're actually productive. It just means you're putting more stuff down. And that's what we're taught. We're taught that if we're not going, then we're failing. We're taught that mom's the martyr, right? Like we don't deserve any sort of rest. Like we're supposed to just fill in all the time. Oh, and get it all done. Get it all done for everyone. And I think there's a lot of very shame-based messaging out there, right? You'll hear people say things like, well, your why needs to be bigger than your excuses. And I find it a load of trash because I think if you asked a mom why she wanted something, you dig into any goal, whether it's she wants to get healthier or save money or start a business, whatever it is, there's a piece of that that's going to be connected to her kids or her family or providing for them, being a different type of mom. So when you tell moms their why isn't big enough, you're essentially telling them they don't care enough about their kids. Like how shame-based is that? And I think it's a terrible message because it connects our productivity and our self-worth. I have days, even as a driven person, where I don't get everything done on my to-do list. Does it mean that I'm any less worthy? No, not at all. But that's what we are taught. That's what we believe. And that's what we feel. And I think that we need to go out there and like ditch that mentality.
So your work sort of counteracts this by helping women, moms, live a life by design is what you call it. So tell us what that looks like and how that's different from do more, do better, work harder.
Yeah. And it's different from balance because I think that we throw this word balance around like it means everything has its equal piece of the pie. And I try to use the word alignment a lot more because that's customizable, right? Balance means that we all have the same amount of stuff and the same priorities and the same things happening. Whereas alignment is what matters for you, what matters for your season, what matters for your home. And I think what's important is knowing like, well, what season of motherhood are you in? You know, my sister had a baby. Oh my gosh, she's going to be 1 already. But I think about her in the newborn stage. I mean, all she really wanted to do was like pee, maybe take a shower, get more than 2 hours of sleep. That was not the time for her to go run a marathon or, write a book or do any of these things. But we're taught these messages. That's what we're supposed to be doing, right? The bounce back, and you have to be jumping right in. Now, my season of life is different. All of my kids are at school all day. We're shuffling to and from activities. We're doing that. So my day looks different. My priorities are different. And I think what's really important for moms listening is to think, what actually matters to me? And not in the general sense of like, what is my top priority, right? Because most of us, again, my kids, my family. And if we keep that mentality of just looking at your top priority, well, then you're only going to be doing things for that priority, which is your kids, which is fine. But what about everything else? So I encourage moms when you're trying to find your alignment, you look at what I like to call micro priorities. So go through, write down, what are your main categories? What are the roles that you're playing right now? I'm mom, I'm a wife, I've got work, maybe I've got hobbies, my health, whatever it is. Again, use them interchangeably. Brain dump out what matters to you for your season, the next few months, the next year in those areas, and decide what are the priorities inside of that, right? Those tiny micro priorities. And then when it's time to work on things, you're not just always looking at that top priority and trying to do for your kids all the time, but you're able to laser focus in and say, great, I have 15 minutes right now to do something for me. What's like my top priority in my self-care category? Oh, cool. I'm going to go for a quick walk. I can focus on that little tiny bit. And I think shifting your mindset into having this big goal of everything being balanced and perfect to what does alignment look like for me in my season is an eye-opening. And it's a game changer when you're planning your days and making your goals and realizing that it is possible for you to do more than just martyr yourselves out to your kids.
Yeah. And I think it keeps you from what I think happens to a lot of moms is like, okay, we're running a marathon and then like our own mom gets sick. So we pick that up and keep running. And then, oh, it turns out that my work wants me back 3 days a week. So you pick that up and like you just keep picking stuff up while you're running the marathon. You never say like, I have to stop for a little while and do this other, and you just don't become like the inertia rolling ball, picking stuff up everywhere you go.
Right. Have you heard the like rubber ball, glass ball analogy? It's been floating around lately, but
yes, but say it again.
Yeah. So looking at your priorities in life, some of them are going to be glass balls. Like if they fall, they're going to shatter. And some of them are going to be rubber balls. They're important still, but they're going to bounce back. And I think about right now in my life, right? This is a busy work season. I've got my book. I've got a summit coming up. My family right now is a rubber ball. And I'm not going to feel guilty about that one bit. I'm still going to take care of them. Everyone's going to be fine. But if I don't make homemade meals 5 times a week or spend a million hours right now with my kids because my work stuff has become a glass ball, I refuse to feel guilty over that. I'm not saying it's not a priority. And I'm not saying it's not important, but I'm saying, but I understand in this season, things have shifted a little bit. And so I can then plan for it, spending more time with my family, we're taking a vacation after all of this is done. And I think that's really key.
Really key.
Is knowing what's the rubber ball, what's the glass ball, and then allowing yourself to move things around when needed.
When you say seasons, I mean, I think people are like, okay, holiday season, travel soccer season, I'll be spending more time in the car. But you, in your book, you talk about like seasons can be something you create and they don't actually have to be pinned to the calendar, right? Like January doesn't have to be the way January is if it's not a good January for you to do that stuff right now.
Yes. So yeah, first of all, we are so married to our calendar. Like it's just a piece of paper. January is January. Monday is Monday, but you can decide when you want things to be. So I think that's really important for people because right now, a lot of people are like, well, I didn't make my New Year's resolution, so I'll just wait till next month.
Well.
I mean, why? Why wait? Right? Because what we do is we keep putting it off. And then 5 years later, we've got the same goal on our list. And so I love this seasonal productivity that I talk about in the book because it's about, again, your season of life and deciding how things work for you. So I actually talk about 4 seasons to add in. And again, if we're going to go over this idea of goodbye, calendar month, don't think of it like 4 seasons, quarters or whatever. Just look at your month as your season. Okay. And I want to encourage you to add these 4 things in. Now they're not weighted. So it's not like I need each of these to be 1 week of the month. Again, it depends on your priorities. So the 4 seasons that I like to add is a season of planning, a season of push, a season of rest, and a season of fun. All right. And I think if you have all 4 of those inside your month, you're going to feel that alignment. So what do these look like? Well, the season of planning, we don't do. We just want to jump in, don't we? Nobody ever wants to sit and plan things out. But if you give yourself inside your month, whatever you determine is your allotted time of planning for something, time to just think it through, you're going to be able to execute better. So we're saving up to go to Disney this year. It's a big goal for us. I don't really know how much it's going to cost. We've never been. So right now I'm in my season of planning. So I told myself I'm spending 2 weeks just literally researching. I got on a call with a travel agent. I'm on Pinterest. I'm just allowing myself to plan, not just jump into something and planning. And it's going to help me prevent the burnout. Again, this could be a weekend. This could be a week. This could be a whole month for you. But as long as you have this season of planning in, it allows you to dream and think things through and not rush. Because what we know we're going to have is also a season of push. And I don't like the word hustle, so we're going to use push here. And this is where things are go, 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 right? These are when things are going to be busy. A lot of us, our season of push might be Monday through Friday. Like that might be maybe like Mondays for me at work. Monday through Thursday is my push. Friday is my plan. So we plan for the next week. I do a lot of that. And then I do the other 2 seasons on the weekend. So see how it's not even, but it's aligned. So we have this season of push where you're going and you're doing, but then you add in the last 2, which are actually really hard for me, and they're rest and fun. And I think that knowing what's coming and being able to plan in a nap or reading a book or whatever you like to do for rest and fun, which I don't know about y'all, I struggle to have fun. Like I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to allow myself to have fun. So I have to plan it. I have to plan intentionally like a game night or out with girlfriends or a date night, or I literally will either just work, or veg into the couch and watch Netflix and do nothing. And so I like to try to plan something for myself to have more alignment. And I find if you have these 4, the plan, the push, the fun, and the rest, you're going to feel better. So like I mentioned, in April, me and my husband booked a cruise, just got canceled yesterday. Womp womp. I was really looking forward to it. So that was my fun and my rest after this season of push. So see how that season was a little longer for me, right? Like my season was 3 months, but I knew I had this coming. So now we're going to plan a family vacation instead. And by knowing it's coming, it alleviates a little bit of the guilt of working all the hours. It alleviates a little bit of the pressure to feel like I have to be super mom and super at work and super for myself. I know that time is coming and I'm okay with it. And it doesn't mean I'm pushing goals off or I'm never going to go after stuff. It just means I'm strategic and I'm intentional.
And you said something about seasons that I want to pick up on. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with that.
For some of us, tax season is one of the only times that we look at our finances fully. And once it's over, well, that was terrible. And it is completely understandable not to want to think about it for another whole year. But using Monarch and being intentional with your finances in an ongoing way helps you see where your money is going and how you can put your refund to best use.
We are here to tell you, simplify your finances with Monarch. Monarch is the all-in-one personal finance tool designed to make your life easier. It brings your entire financial life, budgeting, accounts and investments, net worth, and future planning together in one dashboard on your phone or laptop.
Feel aware and in control of your finances this tax season and get 50% off your Monarch subscription with code FRESH.
As you know, my husband and I are preparing to send, 3 kids off to college, and I cannot tell you how helpful Monarch has been in showing us our full financial picture, helping us to track our spending and reach important savings milestones. Our weekly meeting, Amy, it's now run by Monarch.
Love it. Achieve your financial goals for good with Monarch, the all-in-one tool that makes money management simple.
Use code FRESH at monarch.com for half off your first year. That's 50% off at monarch.com, code FRESH.
My favorite skincare products actually feel more like self-care, like they're so nice to put on and they smell so good that I'm actually happy when I get to that part of my day. And I swear that is how I feel about Osea's anti-aging body balm.
Amy, you are usually the lotions and potions queen on this podcast, but I have to say, hard agree.
Osea's anti-aging body balm is a liquid silk body balm that combines the lasting hydration of a lotion with the firming power of a serum, leaving skin smoother and firmer.
This body balm is clinically tested and designed to deliver visible results you can see and feel.
So we've gotten to use this product for a couple of months now, and I swear I have really noticed firmer and smoother skin, like on the back of my hands. It's like getting a mini spa treatment from head to toe.
Get a spring-worthy glow with clean, clinically tested skincare from Osea. And right now, we have a special discount just for our listeners.
Get 10% off your first order site-wide with code FRESH at OseaMalibu.com.
That's 10% off your first order with code FRESH at OSEAMalibu.com. So something that I picked up on that you said about seasons is like, you're not good at fun and rest. I find I'm not good at planning, and I'm often not great at pushing. Amy and I are very yin yang. I feel like I'm like good at fun and, well, I shouldn't say I'm good at fun and rest because it sounds like I never do anything and you do all the work. But you know what I mean? Like, I think allowing yourself to see things not as like I failed at everything, but like I have areas of struggle that I know I'm not as strong at as other things, it keeps you from the like, I can't even make cupcakes. It keeps you out of the mindset of like, I stink at being a mom, and these kind of big statements that tend to really drag us down.
And it lets you have to start to get to know who you are too. So like when you're planning out your season, you might need more of the rest and the fun to be able to perform during the push and the plan. So for me, while I might have Monday through Thursday that I'm pushing, you might be like, I know the way I work. And if I don't add in more rest or more fun, then I'm not going to be great at the other stuff. And so it's so customizable based on what you need. And I think that is one of the problems out there with all the productivity gurus is everything is, this is a one size fits all Pinterest checklist. And here it goes. And I think that we as moms need to be empowered that we know ourselves. And if we don't, because a lot of us lose ourselves a lot along the way, we have the power to relearn who we are and what makes us tick and how we like to plan things. And I think that's really important. And I think it's really empowering.
I can think of an example with the way we work, which is we used to record our regular Wednesday episodes. We would record them on Monday mornings because, as you say, like Mondays are Mondays. Mondays are what you do. We record on Mondays. We weren't going to record on a Sunday, but we were going to record first thing Monday morning. But that meant I spent my Sunday afternoon scrambling to get ready for Monday morning. And it's probably a year ago now, we moved that record to Tuesday mornings, so that my Sunday remains a Sunday, a day of, rest and refilling my cup. And then I can worry about the work week on Monday morning, not on Sunday. And it changed my ability to enjoy time with my family on Sunday, to just push that off to Tuesday. And like, we're our own bosses. We could do it whenever we want, but it took us a long time to figure that out.
I love that. And I think when we're going to plan with our families, it's important to look at our schedules the same way. Because you mentioned like soccer season, right? My kids I have 3 kids at 3 different schools, 5 different sports and activities, right? So we are one of those families who does a lot of stuff. But I think it's also knowing when you need a season of rest. So we were getting really overwhelmed with the schedules, honestly. It was just going to be too much. And we sat down as a family and we said, listen, I know we've been pushing and doing these activities. And again, my littles are so little. My oldest plays on 3 basketball teams, which is the bulk of what we do. And I said, what do you think about taking some stuff off our plate so we can be home more to just like play Legos and hang? And they were like, yeah, great. Like they were fine with it. But I think we start to teach them now how to do those things so that we can change that generational cycle when they became adults, when they become parents, when they're in college. I wish someone in college would have taught me this. So I wasn't spending my, all-nighters trying to do a bunch of stuff all the time. We're not always equipping our kids on how to manage their time because we don't know how to manage our time well, because we're just always used to what we're told we're supposed to do to manage our time. And so I think with this priority-based productivity, yes, it's a lot of knowing yourself, but it's also acknowledging what makes you happy, what your family needs right now, and being willing to put on the blinders to change some things. Because I think there are a lot of things that can like hold us back to changing. And one of those is connection. I like to call it the struggle Olympics. Like, when you meet up with somebody and they're like, this is going wrong for me. Oh no, this is going wrong for me. Well, my husband's the worst. And you just complain and complain. That's a piece of connection that our brains really like. It makes us feel less alone as moms. And I think that us having busy schedules as moms, again, busy is a relative term to you and your family, but having that super full stressed out schedule makes us feel connected to other moms. And our brain is kind of like, wait a minute, this keeps us safe. This is our safe mode, go, go, go. And I think it's being willing to say like, hey, if somebody says what's up and you're actually like, wait, I don't have my kids in any activities, that's okay if that's what makes sense for you and your family. If you, like I said, we went through a season of activities, we're done with that. But I think a lot of that comes with the confidence building of saying no to what doesn't matter and saying yes to what does.
And it's sort of untethering productivity from motivation, right? Because we think like if we want to get more done, we need to, as you were saying before, want it more or just work harder.
Yeah. I mean, the motivation thing is interesting because I used to like spew that from the rooftops. I would be like, you just have to be more motivated. Like, you have to want it bad enough. And then something hit me. I really want it, but I'm not always motivated because I'm a human being and not a robot, right? And people always be like, how do you do it all? And I'm like, I don't. And there are nights when, guess what? I don't want to do it. And I think that when we can acknowledge that now motivation is important, your why, all that is important, but it can't be the be all end all. And motivation is a muscle. It's something we have to grow. We all think we're naturally gifted and motivated. No, it's like 4% of the world or something are like naturally motivated people. Like we all have to work on it. It's a muscle that has to grow. And when we think that we're just going to be motivated because it's important, the second we fail, the second we don't complete a task, the second we don't get the laundry from washer to dryer to put away in a day, all of a sudden we're the failure. And it goes back to that shame base. It's not that my plan wasn't working for me. It's that something's wrong with me. Something's wrong with the way I am, the person I am, and I'm the failure because I'm not motivated. And I want to encourage moms, it's not about your motivation. The plan you made wasn't aligned to your priorities.
Can we talk a little bit about goal setting and what that looks like? And because I feel like it's another piece where we sometimes undermine ourselves with goal setting because we try to set goals that are like, I want everyone in my family to be happy. And it's like, well, that's a goal, but it's just a goal that's going to fall apart the first time I try to ice the cupcakes when they're too hot. Like it's not going to, how do you goal set in a way that is actually meaningful?
Yeah. And I think that where a lot of us make a mistake with goal setting is this go big or go home mentality, right? I mean, come on, January, right? 300 goals, everything's on the vision board. Must do it all by the end of the month.
Right. I'm going to be fit. I'm going to cook meals. I'm going to get along with my husband. Yes, I'm going to do it all.
So cute that we think that, right? Like how cute. Like, and every year we do it. And every year we're like, I'm going to do it. And I saw this thing on TikTok and it was this girl's like 50-point habits tracker thing. And I wanted to just like hug her through the thing and be like, no, friend. Like,
sweetie.
That's so cute. But no, but we do it to ourselves, right? And so one of the things that I think is super important when you're picking your goals is to not have too many of them. I think that I tell the moms I work with, I like to do themes and quarterly goals, but they're always like, how many? Everybody wants a number. There's no formula. But my suggestion is 4 goals a month seems like an okay amount if you break them down. And so the 4 types of goals that I like to suggest to people, one is a numerical goal. Those are goals that you can break down like by numbers, very easy math stuff. And those tend to be ones that go for like the whole year. How many books you want to read, how much money you want to save, because you're always kind of working on those. The other one is a project-based goal that fits your theme for the month and your priority. I want to declutter my house. I want to do a scrapbook for my kid's birthday party, right? One that you're working on. The other is a habit-based goal or a routine, your morning routine and evening routine. And then the last one is a learning goal or a growth goal. And a lot of moms will laugh at me when I say this one, like, you want me to do what? Have time for you. I don't care if you want to learn the guitar or you want to listen to a podcast about growing in confidence or parenthood. By putting in a little bit of the good stuff every day, 15 minutes at a time, you're going to be able to do it. And I teach a framework on how you break all of these down in 15 minutes at a time. Because as a mom, I found that I can convince my brain to do something for 15 minutes. But again, I can scroll TikTok for 15 minutes. Like I really can, right? And so that's a magic number.
15 minutes, 3 hours.
Started.
Yes. Well, and that's what happens. The 15 minutes turns into 30, which turns into 45. And now we don't have time for our goals. And I'm not anti-TikTok or TV. And everyone's like, well, you probably don't want. No, I love TV. I love all those things. But when it starts to get in the way of my goals, I ask myself, can I fit in a 15-minute pocket? And so I think when it comes to goal setting, it's looking at those 4 types of goals, but also doing a really good job of making an entire plan for each goal. And nobody wants to do this because it is a little bit of work. But trust me, when you go through the 5 steps, you can customize it. And so every goal, you've got to start with a vision of like, what do you want this to look like and why? And it's not just like, okay, I want to say for Disney, right? So I'll run through this example because it's one of my real ones. I have a vision. I did a whole journaling thing. Like I literally was crying, ladies, the other day, like imagining my daughter looking at the castle and like why we want to go. And I really dug into it. Like I never went on vacations as a kid because we didn't have a lot of money. So I don't actually have a lot of memories from my childhood and I want different, right? So again, the why is important, but that's where everybody stops. Oh, I want to go because it's going to be a good memory. No, let's keep going. So once you've got your vision, you do what's called the baseline. Where are you starting from? So a lot of people in my membership, they're doing this like water challenge right now to be healthier. And they're all like, I'm going to drink a gallon of water, which I'm like, okay, that's not a terrible goal. But how much are you drinking right now? Get your baseline. Because if you're drinking 1 cup of water, to go from there to a gallon, like you're going to quit by Tuesday and then do what's, the Monday mentality we call it, where I'll do it again on Monday, rinse and repeat. So what's your baseline? So for this Disney goal, I'm spending January, my season of planning, and I'm doing an intake of all of our budgets. I'm tracking how much I'm spending. I'm really getting a baseline of where's our money right now so I can figure out where we can find the money to go to Disney World, debt-free. That's the goal. That's the plan. So get your baseline. If you want to start running a marathon, how much are you doing right now in exercise? Well, if you're not exercising at all, going to start a running plan right now, it is setting you up for failure. And that third step then is you make an action plan that gets you from your baseline to your vision. That makes sense. It's not jumping a million steps. It's making tiny, tiny, tiny changes. And then 4 and 5, the last 2 pieces of the goal that are important are incentives. What's going to get you there? I always say that it's important to have external motivators while your internal motivation muscle grows. And people will be like, you're going to get so addicted to these like little check charts and sticker, like when we tell our kids we shouldn't give our kids rewards or whatever for stuff. I'm like, if we have a plan to wean it back, I think it's okay. And I think for me as a grown up, I need to check off the box. I want to see what I'm doing and I want to give myself a reward. And eventually something crazy happens where I don't need the box anymore and it becomes a habit. But we need that transition time. Again, we think we're just supposed to get there. We need the transition. And then you get accountability because you can't do it on your own. You get a buddy to text when you want to drink water every day. You find somebody to walk with or, go on a no spend challenge with, your partner and you guys, talk about the money. You get some sort of support system because we can't do it alone. And when you go through all 5 of those steps for those goals, your plan is not relying on motivation. It's not relying on your willpower. It's not relying on you doing a million things all the time. It's relying on what's based on your priority that you need to get you from point A to B in your time frame.
And these aren't just like for, baby beginner, aren't good at following goals people. We were good friends with the hosts of the Am Writing podcast, Jess Leahy and KJ Dell'Antonia, both of whom have multiple best-selling books under their belts. They still use stickers to give themselves a sticker when they've written their words for the day. And they also text each other just with the word sticker for their accountability partner just to say, I did it. And they are very successful writers and they're still relying on those little, monitors of progress to keep them going.
Yeah, because even when you hit success, right, whatever that means, even if you're a motivated person, you're going to have time where either you're just not going to feel like doing it or life is going to happen and it's going to throw you curveballs and you need a system to get yourself back together. And those are awesome tools.
We're going to take a break and we'll be right back with Cara Harvey.
All my kids learned to swim when they were little. It was super important to me that they be confident and safe in the water. There was only one problem with that, taking them to swim lessons. I mean, the pools were freezing. There were always cranky adults doing laps right there. And it was definitely not, for any of us, what you would call fun.
Amy, heard. But now there's Goldfish Swim School. Goldfish takes a really thoughtful approach to swim lessons, combining research-based teaching with a warm, kid-friendly environment that actually helps kids thrive in the water.
Every detail at Goldfish is thoughtfully designed to create a golden experience, from shiver-free, warm indoor pools to comfy waiting areas for parents to professionally trained lifeguards on deck.
Goldfish uses an approach called the science of swim play, which combines guided play with proven teaching techniques to help kids learn to swim, build water safety skills, and gain confidence all at their own pace. Lessons are designed to meet kids exactly where they're at.
If you've been thinking about swim lessons or just wondering where to start, this is a great opportunity. Right now, Goldfish Swim School is offering a waived membership plus your child's first lesson free at participating locations.
Just visit goldfishswimschool.com/free to find a location near you and enroll using promo code FREE.
That's goldfishswimschool.com/free, promo code FREE.
Amy, when I'm having a good hair day, it usually makes my whole day better. And that's why on every day, I'm taking Nutrafol.
Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement brand. And it's the #1 hair growth supplement brand personally used by dermatologists. Nutrafol's hair growth supplements are peer-reviewed, NSF certified for sport, and clinically tested.
Nutrafol offers multiple formulas for men and women, tailored to different life stages and lifestyle factors, so you get support that's actually right for you. Adding Nutrafol to your daily routine is easy. Order online, no prescription needed, with automated deliveries and free shipping to keep you on track.
Let your hair be one less thing to worry about. See visibly thicker, stronger, faster-growing hair in 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol.
For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you visit Nutrafol.com and enter promo code LAUGHING.
That's Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code LAUGHING. So we're back. We're talking to Cara Harvey. She is the host of the podcast Purpose Driven Mom Show, and she's the author of the new book, The 15-Minute Formula. Tell us about the 15-minute formula, Cara.
Yeah, so I never planned on writing a book. Like, I think a lot of people, I don't know, some people, like, they want to write a book forever. I was not one of those people. I didn't even plan on writing a book. And it came out of searching for productivity books on Amazon for moms for the book club for my membership and not finding anything that I thought would fit. And I was so frustrated. I was like, what is it? Everything is hustle, go, business. I'm like, I don't want to talk about getting up at 5 a.m. right now. Like, I want to teach moms how they can customize. And it went from this idea to this thing where I literally used all of the systems in the formula to figure out how to write the book, like in these small chunks with the 3 kids, to, getting this book together to give to moms. And we talk about my 5 pillars of productivity, which start with vision and then move into goal setting, time management, habits, and routines. And inside of it, we dive deep into priority-based productivity. Everything we're talking about today, we're going to give you a step-by-step on how you can take those and customize them for you. And one of the cool things that I did was I have a workbook that you can get for free with the book. And I broke down how many chapters of the book to read each day if you want to finish it in a month. Like, use the entire formula for you. Because how many times do we buy a book and we put it on the shelf? We're like, I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that. And then we do the thing where we tell ourselves we don't have time to read. Well, in literally 15 minutes a day, while you're sitting outside your kid's room while they're falling asleep, you could pull the book up and at least get one of those chapters done. And my hope for this book is that moms walk away feeling like they don't need to live in this place of mom guilt all the time. They don't need to lose themselves in motherhood, and that it is possible for whatever their goal is. Like I said, whether it's getting the laundry put away every day or starting their own business, they can customize these approaches for them.
I think it's interesting because I was just thinking as you were talking, like, Amy is very productivity minded and systems and like how to, actualize. And I mean, in a very good way, and gets a lot of stuff done. I tend to hear like goals and vision, and I'm like, I'd rather just take a nap. It seems very annoying to me to have goals. But how does it work for people who might not? I think for some people, it's like, oh, yes, I would use this to plan my vacation. I would do it. How does it work and how does it play out, do you see, for moms who are a little bit more like, I'm a little fuzzy on this stuff?
Yeah. So what I love about the book is I wrote it through the lens of helping you have urgency, but flexibility at the same time, because I know that. I know the way I'm wired, and I know the way other moms are wired after working with thousands of moms in my program. I have learned, again, I am like Amy. I'm like, let's geek out. Give me a planner, some new highlighters. Let's do this. This is exciting, right?
Excel spreadsheets just light up Amy's face.
Yeah. I told someone last night, I was making a spreadsheet for Girl Scouts. I'm the Girl Scout leader. And I was like, Excel is my love language. And they were like, you're weird. And I was like, no, I love it. I love it. But I know that not everybody is me. And so what I think moms who are like a little goal averse, right? Maybe they've been there, done that, been burnt, or it's just not the way they're wired, are going to get from the book is that it's not about adding more to your planner. It's not about having to be productive all the time. It's about deciding what you want, whatever that is, and going after it. And you can use it for any goal. My husband and I, we decided to watch all the Marvel. I don't know if you guys are Marvel homes, but we're Marvel home here. And we're watching all the Marvel.
My kids are living in a Marvel home that I'm not part of, which thank God. My husband and my kids are in Marvel world.
Yes. Well, we are Marvel fans. So we're watching all the movies and the TV shows, which is a lot of TV watching this year.
Big commitment.
We decided, because we bond over it, and we wanted to prioritize just hanging out with each other, because sometimes we just don't. And we don't have a lot of other common interests sometimes when it comes to TV. So I use this exact formula to plan out our TV watching schedule, which is a little, type A for me. But my husband, who is the opposite of, I don't know if you guys know Enneagram stuff, like I'm a 3, he's a 9. We're very opposite people. And he's excited about it because it's something fun for him. So really, whatever the goal is, if it's important to you, you'll be able to customize it.
We love on this show, we use as our true north. We want to give moms advice that will make their lives easier, right? That you shouldn't you need to be getting your kids outside in the cold weather, not because you'll be a bad mom if you don't, but because they'll actually sleep better and be more calm when they come inside. So we're always goal oriented for our show towards giving people advice that makes this easier. And I think this is I get this, that by saying this is what my goal is, and here's the step I'm going to take toward it this week, it makes it easier, not harder to, I don't know, run a marathon, to use that example, right? Or get through a Peloton class without having to quit because it's too hard. Putting steps along the way instead of just saying that's what I want, but I don't understand what lies between me and it.
Yeah, and let's be real. Our kids need structure and routines. As much as we might not be routine-based people, just replace the word routine with rhythm and go with it, right? Our kids have been home in and out, pandemic, whatever. So on the days that they aren't at school and we're still operating our home, our morning routine is the same thing. We just might get up later. And our kids need that predictability. And I think that as parents, because I think a lot of times if you tell, a parent, again, how it'll impact their kids, they might be more interested. Like, oh, this will make me better as mom. Listen, if you can't even think about yourself right now, which I wish you would, but if you can't, you'll be able to better help them with their rhythms as well, which I think is needed and will help them in the long run.
Yeah. And I do think for ourselves, because I tend to be kind of resistant of like, oh, I don't want the structure. I know I want to be free, but I do think long time ago in my 20s, had always been like, active in different ways, but I never had a program. And I decided to run a marathon, and I truly bought a book, and it was like every day, this is how much you have to run. And it wasn't every day, but every other day, here's how much you have to run. And I just followed it like it was, I don't know, a law, And I always say I was never more mentally calm in my life than during that process of just like, someone is telling me what to do every day. It's just a piece of paper that I printed off of a library book. But having routines actually makes your life calmer. To me, I have that like mindset. Sometimes it's like, no one tells me what to do. But I realize that when someone tells me what to do, it's very calming for me. It's like a weighted blanket on me,
Yeah, it keeps us kind of guided and focused. And I think what happens to a lot of moms, and if you're somebody like that, time blocking chapters, there's 2 or 3 chapters on time blocking are really helpful because they're all about that flexibility and urgency. Like it's giving you a guideline, it's giving you a structure, but then you get to customize based on your family. And I think that's really important when it comes to making your schedules, your routines, and fitting in time for your goals. Because when life throws you curveballs, having a backup plan and knowing where you're going to put it is what's going to keep you on track and what's going to keep you less wanting to rip your hair out and get resentful towards everybody in the family and start yelling and the whole nine.
Yes. That sounds familiar.
Do your kids take on any of these things for themselves, sort of habit tracking and goal planning? And how do you do that with them and for them and encourage it?
Oh, man. Yeah. I mean, I laugh. My daughter is me. Like she woke up the other day. No, she woke me up actually in the middle of the night. She must have been dreaming. And she was like, Mom, I think we should make a list of what we should do over winter break. And I was like, what? Get out of bed, right? So she definitely is me, but we use this with my kids all the time. So when we created their morning routine, we did all of the steps. We were like, where do we want to go? What are the things that you need to do? Because I'm trying to have them do more things. And again, my kids are little. We started this when they were 2 and 4 with them. And I said, I don't want to be getting them dressed every day for the rest of my life. Like, how can we equip them? And we started with, okay, I picked what we wanted. And then I asked them, hey, these are the 4 things we need to get done before we go to school. Which one do you want to focus on? And we did what I call routine stacking. And we started with 1 and we moved on until we had all 4 things. And now, while I would love to control the order they do things, like in my head, brush your teeth before you get dressed because you're probably going to get toothpaste on your shirt and not have to change it, I realized that doesn't honestly matter. Like in the long run, if they brush their teeth after they get dressed and they spill the dang toothpaste, like whatever, they got themselves dressed. And so now I can say to them, we have like a little magnet chart. And again, my youngest is 4. He just turned 4. And I'll just say, hey, did you do your magnets? And he goes over, he looks at the 4 things. I don't care what order they want to do them in. I don't care if they brush their teeth first and then eat, like whatever. That's not the point of it, right? The point of it is teaching them how to do the things in the mornings. And our mornings are so much easier because I'm not having to nag. They get freedom and choice into deciding what order, because that's the thing about the time blocking that I love. It's not saying you do this in this order. It's saying these things have to get done by the time this block is over. Some days you might do it in that order. Some days you just don't feel like it. And then we start to resist and we're like, well, I don't want to do my laundry first, or I don't want to do the dishes. So then we complain for 20 minutes when it only takes 6 minutes to unload the dishwasher, right? When we could have just skipped it, gone to the next thing and come back. And I think that is so powerful. And it's such a great way to get your kids on board with routines.
We've been talking to Cara Harvey. She is the author of the new book, The 15-Minute Formula, How Busy Moms Can Ditch the Guilt, Say Yes to What Matters, and Conquer Their Goals. Cara, tell us about where we can find you in the book and work with you, where moms can get coaching from you. How does it work?
Sure. Yeah. If you want to get the book, it comes out January 23rd, and Amazon is the best place right now to get all copies and versions. And you're going to want to go to the15minuteformula.com/free. I have links up to the book there, but I also have a 30-page workbook for you that you can print or type on, and a Trello board, because I just love Trello, that has organized all of the stuff in the book so that you can take it and make it a real thing for you. If you want to hang out more on the podcast, it's the Purpose Driven Mom Show. And you can find me on Instagram at a Purpose Driven Mom. But the 15minuteformula.com/free is going to be all things book and some free resources if you just want to dabble in a little bit of me before you get the book.
All things Cara.
Dabble away, folks. We will put a link to All Things Cara on our show page, and you can check it out there. Cara, thanks so much for talking to us today.
Thanks, Cara.
Thank you.